the organizers and everyone. It's honestly a blast to be in any opportunity I possibly can when it comes to the folks from Taiwan, because as every other speaker till now has mentioned, it's never a dull time. It's always a blessing and a great time. My name is Janis. I have new hair right now, as you can see. I probably need to update my headshot. But I'm an investor at Plug and Play Ventures. We're based not too far from here in Sunnyvale. That's where our headquarters are, and I primarily focus on all the investments that we do in the deep tech space. And what that title means, we will probably figure out throughout the presentation. As the kids say, he didn't understand the assignment, and I didn't either. Turns out there's 10 minutes for some knowledge to be shared, but I think I submitted maybe 30, 40 slides or so. So I don't think it's going to be possible. I'm going to be trying to freestyle a little bit to share some of the things that I think are pertinent to what we do at Plug and Play, but also what would be relevant for all of you here as the audience. To those who are not familiar with Plug and Play, we've been around for 20 years right now. We started in 2006 as a co-working space. And over time, we really have gone through a journey from co-working space to early stage investor to corporate innovation platform to an accelerator, all the way to a fund manager as of recently as well. We're present in more than 60 offices worldwide, Taiwan being one of them. That's the bridge that we are building from Taiwan to Silicon Valley when it comes to bringing founders from there to here and vice versa. We have more than 550 corporate, university, and government partners that we work with. Again, primarily our mission is to shorten the time to market. The world already goes fast, and we're helping founders move even faster to find their next customers, to find the feedback that they need for what they're building, and subsequently set them up for success for their next fundraising event. This is the footprint. As you can see, we really have expanded a lot. I joined Plug and Play in 2017, and it's definitely been a wild ride to see how we can have mechanisms and platforms and soft landing spots for these founders in almost every corner of the world. And then lastly, throughout this journey, we also are proud to have invested in more than 30 unicorn companies at this point. I know parents are not allowed to have their favorite children, but I do have my favorite one. It's a company called Einride, which was one of my first investments when I joined Plug and Play as an intern. And then just as of, I think, November last year or so, they announced their merger for $1.9 billion. So autonomous trucking, electric trucking is happening. At least that's what the record shows. But anyway, that's about Plug and Play. Why it's important to have gatherings like this and why it's important to talk about these topics, it's really the fact that it's unprecedented times. We have entered an era where the developments of technologies, the advancements that AI technology can unlock right now, it is going to be leapfrogging us as a society and the economies like never seen before. We've seen transformational inventions, whether it's electronics, whether it's combustion engine before then, or even the era of internet where software ate the world. Well, guess what? Now, it's finally sexy to be investing in these industries that were neglected in the SaaS era. We can invest in semiconductors and microchips. We can invest in manufacturing and industrial technologies. We can invest in spacecrafts because the unit economics start to make sense. And most importantly, what I want to highlight on this slide, AI is not the end result. AI really is an enabler in many cases. So what is the world going to be running on? It is compute, and that arguably could be becoming the next utility in some ways, because it's at unprecedented times when it comes to the new build-outs, to what hyperscalers are investing in, and just the compute needs in general. So the problem at question here is there's so much capex that these massive companies are throwing into the space. Will the revenues be catching up? I do believe it was the CFO of Alphabet that said that the risk of over-investing is smaller than under-investing. So they would rather throw these extra dollars to build out these massive projects so they can have that market share when the floodgates finally open. Meaning that technology is getting better, the adoption is lagging with some corporations when it comes to some of these AI tools, but the compute is going to be the fundamental necessity to run all of this. So the amount of money that is being thrown in this domain right now, whether it's VCs or some of these hyperscalers as I mentioned, it's something else. And if we think about the fact that the spending is continuously increasing, what is not happening is the revenues that are not catching up right now. The revenue growth from the new build-outs in the data centers is not really there just yet, but still, the money is being injected, and it's never been a better time, if you will, to focus on computing and to focus on some of these advancements that will either be inspired by human brain or will be using other means for computing or data storage or memory. That's where the advancements in innovation is really coming in. Another thing I want to highlight, again, look at how much I had prepared. Who is he? Crazy people. Another really, really important barrier that we are seeing at Plug and Play when we work with our corporate partners and also startup founders, it has never been cooler to be a nerd. Some of these engineers and some of these like masterminds, if you will, some of the experts in the engineering and AI space, they are almost making more money than some of these professional athletes. The race really is on getting the best talent hired by your company so you can have these advancements for you, and therefore that you can be emerging as a market leader or a category leader. And we see that. There's reverse acqui-hires that these companies are doing right now. So it's not only throwing money at the physical infrastructure that will be needed, and like the Googles and Facebooks and Amazons of the world will be almost like what PG&E is for electricity, but they will be doing that for the compute that will be required. They're also throwing money at the talent, at these Ronaldos of the AI world, if you will. And that is also a trend that has been happening, and we will probably be seeing even more as the whole space just gets even more hyped up than it is. And with that, this is probably the largest coordinated industrial expansion since what we have seen with the internet, meaning that all of these geographies in the United States where data centers are being developed, they get this massive capital influx. There will be these new fabs that were also mentioned before. And the capital that is going to be in this, whether again it's venture capital money or some of the client money, the time is now for that. So where does Plug and Play come in all of that? Why am I talking about this? Plug and Play acts as a mediator for all of this. As I mentioned, we work with the corporations, we work with the governments, we work with the academia and the founders. As an organization that hosts close to 400, 500 events every year, our sole goal is to bring the right people together. We have the corporates that could be startups' next customers. We have the VC network that could be your next investors. We primarily invest in early stages, but we have a vast network of investors that we co-invest, whether it's for your current syndicate or for your subsequent funding rounds. When it comes to academia, we work with them to help them commercialize some of their IP and bring that to the market. So bright minds and people that are not afraid to take those risks. I think it was Andy. No, you were talking, Sam, right, about risks? Someone was talking about risks before. I didn't know the name well enough. You have to take those risks and put yourself out of the comfort zone to be able to discover some of these things that are possible. It was Sam, because you didn't want to be a founder, but you were just curious. So it's the same thing. We basically provide the sandbox and the environment to experiment with these things, to shorten your time to market by introducing you to your next customer and design partner, to shorten the time to fundraising that is needed by giving you money from Plug and Play or introducing you to your next investor, or in sometimes, if you're a corporate representative, to help you hit your Horizon 1, Horizon 2, Horizon 3 goals as it pertains to your innovation roadmap. So it's also similarly to how it was said before, it's a one-stop shop like the ICTGC grant as well. So this is where I will stop. I don't want to get too far into this. Actually, no, I will say this. A portfolio company of ours, Astras, helps designing semiconductors and microchips and systems on chip. The point that I was making earlier, that AI is not the final goal, the AI is not the destination, AI is means for it. So this is exactly what they're doing. They're utilizing AI technology to shorten the process of the design of these semiconductors and automate the 80-20 kind of ratio, 80% AI, and then the actual engineers and developers can be finalizing the final part where the human loop is necessary. And many, many other companies, like Laura was mentioning, investing in companies that are bringing data centers to space, investing in companies that are doing some neuromorphic or neuro-inspired computing. We've seen it all, we've heard it all. Just bring your vision, bring your strategy and roadmap and how you are planning to build a viable business, and we will introduce you to your next partners, if not become a partner ourselves. Thank you.